Welcome to the Business Miracles Podcast. I'm Heather Dominick, founder of businessmiracles.com. Since 2010, I've been training highly sensitive entrepreneurs and leaders from around the globe to work less while making more impact and income by doing things differently. I'm so glad you've joined me. Listen in and get ready for a shift in the way you view yourself, your work, your life. A business miracle. This is A Course in Business Miracles podcast, episode 139, Choice Points. Tune in to learn 3 key elements you can consciously cultivate to access resilience, own who you are as a highly sensitive, and use this to create the business and life you desire. We are being brought to choice points more frequently and more quickly than most of us have ever experienced in our lifetimes. Your resilience is being challenged. Yet now is the time for 3 particular elements to consciously be cultivating in order to continue to access resilience. And here are those 3 points. Point number 1, courage. Write it down. Point number 2, determination. Write it down. Point number 3, flexibility. Write it down. Courage, determination, flexibility. Courage is the moving forward into your next step. Write that down. Courage is for moving forward into your next step. Not courage to conquer all. Next step. Determination is for doing whatever it takes to follow through. Determination is for doing whatever it takes to follow through. Not distraction, determination. Not getting it all done perfectly, doing whatever it takes to follow through. Flexibility is for adjusting and refining as needed during this erratic and unpredictable time. Flexibility is for adjusting and refining as needed during this erratic and unpredictable time. Plan ahead, but with adjustments when necessary. Right now, in this collective experience, at this time, you will experience a tension created by seemingly opposing influences, pushing and pulling and pulling and pushing, and forcing decisions that you may not feel ready for. Yet, tension can be a proactive energy that fuels change and inspires you to action. And let's write that down. Tension can be a proactive energy that fuels change and inspires you to action. It comes down to, what do you choose? Is it to default to shadows and coping mechanisms, fueled by shame, activated due to the tension? Now, why would we do that? If this tension is collective, which I'm sure we can all look around us here and now, wherever it is that each one of us lives. And we see, and as highly sensitives, we feel the tension. It's everywhere. Everyone's experiencing it right now. As highly sensitives, when we are untrained, we interpret that tension as our fault. It's that unconscious interpretation based only on previous nervous system experience that will trigger us into those shadows and into those coping mechanisms. Or will you choose grace? Will you choose to answer the call of this midpoint, of this turning point, and utilize this choice point to master this particular aspect of your nervous system functioning? Meaning, tension can be a proactive energy that fuels change and inspires you to action, inspires you into resilience. The fear of even the possibility of overwhelm is the root of most highly sensitive resistance. According to Dr. Elaine Aron, founding researcher of the highly sensitive person, for HSPs, we have known what she refers to as unbearable emotions. Unbearable emotions is that explanation of the fear of I won't be able to handle it. According to Dr. Aron, unbearable emotions is what causes highly sensitives to be even more cautious about every aspect of life. In my language, the highly sensitive entrepreneur and leader shadow of overprotection. Dr. Aron also says, but alas, her words, strategies to avoid unbearable emotions truly limit life. My words, defaulting to coping mechanisms. According to Dr. Aron, she says, we fear what has already happened to us. That is, fears are learned. Write that down. But sometimes, according to Dr. Aron, we don't remember having had an unbearable emotion. So we don't know we learned this fear. Also, according to Dr. Aron, she says, I think most often unbearable emotions happen in infancy when we certainly don't remember them. She goes on to say, whatever the source, conscious or unconscious memories, fears of what were at the time of unbearable emotions can truly play havoc with life. We set up defenses against such pain that we don't even know about. And this is the fear of even the possibility of overwhelm. The root of most highly sensitive resistance. So then the question becomes, again, what do we choose at this point? And if you choose the path of resilience, if you choose grace and grit in the midst of these exceptional times, then it's important to be very clear about how you are going to be in action. Write that down. How are you going to choose to access resilience through grace and grit? You will be tempted by the way of the 80%. That tension is uncomfortable. You will be tempted by outside influences. You will be tempted by what your friends are doing. You will be tempted by what your family members are doing. You will be tempted by the shininess of other programs. You will be seduced by the superego voice and thoughts in your mind of there must be a way around myself as a highly sensitive. There must be another way. Yet at the end of the day, you will still be you. Your nervous system will still be highly sensitive. Write that down. And at the end of the day, you will be faced with resistance as an opportunity to be called up into the privilege of agency, of owning who you are and learning how to work with who you are. Now more than ever, we are being called into confidence of doing things differently. And not just differently than those around us, but differently than our former selves. You don't need to be prey to the socialized fear and limitation. We can do it differently.
Thank you for being a part of this Business Miracles podcast episode and for beginning to dip your toe into the journey of highly sensitive leadership training. If you are ready to truly use your sensitivities as strengths in all parts of your work and life, I invite you to connect for a one-on-one chat. You will experience being deeply listened to, and together we'll get a sense of whether the highly sensitive leadership training programs are the best next step for you and your highly sensitive journey at this time. Just go to www.claritycall.com to schedule a conversation. We so look forward to connecting with you. Talk to you soon.